Senator Tillis, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you both for being here. I've got a question I don't think has been covered yet, and it relates to Finland and Sweden. I am the co-chair of the Senate NATO Observer Group, and Senator Shaheen and I were in Brussels 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about accession, and I met with Swedish officials yesterday. By all indications, by the time we get to the NATO summit at the end of June, we're going to have formal requests for accession. Then we're going to go into a gray area. We're going to do everything we can here to expedite the process, and I think it'll receive broad bipartisan support. But they're going to be in a gray area between the time they apply and the time that they're ultimately approved by the NATO members. So two questions. One, can you all describe the current military-to-military relationships with both Finland and Sweden? General McConville, or Secretary Wormuth and General McConville.
Senator, we have while Finland and Sweden are not NATO allies yet, they have worked very closely with the alliance over the years, as you know, and we have very strong military-to-military relationships with both countries. They will both, I believe, joining NATO, be security providers, not consumers, and I look forward to them becoming members.
John McConville.
Yeah, same thing. We have very strong relations, with their chiefs of staff, at least from the Army standpoint. We routinely run exercises, and they're very good partners.
With Finland sharing, I think, somewhere around 1,340-kilometer border with Russia, there's clearly some concern about that gray zone, that gray period between application and accession. Are there any current military exercises, any other activities that are already planned that we could potentially consider to move up to provide some assurances to them as they go through the application process or accession process?
Senator, I think we'd have to look in. I'm not aware of the detailed schedule of exercises right now. We can certainly look into that. I think in the gray area, I don't think from a conventional military standpoint, Russia is going to be in much of a position to move its ground forces, for example. They're pretty tied down in Ukraine right now. I think the area that I would have concerns about is in the cyber domain. What might Russia be tempted to do there potentially? And I think that's something that we would want to talk to the Finns and the Swedes about.
Yeah, speaking with Swedish officials yesterday, I think one thing, I tend to agree. Intellectually, they're not doing a very good job in Ukraine, and I think it's unlikely, but if you're a policymaker in Finland or Sweden and you've got relatively strong support, public support for accession, I'm sure that there is a real concern because they're seeing what's going on in Ukraine. So I think that we have to do other things just as an assurance and to continue to maintain what appears to be broad support in both Finland and Sweden. So looking at that, I think is very important. I want to move to Abrams tanks. We've got I know we've got unfunded priority from the Army on another I think another full brigade, and that's particularly interesting to me because some of that would go down to the 30th Armored Brigade combat team in our National Guard. I think it also touches South Carolina and West Virginia. Do you all agree that that is a priority and you support it?
Yes, I mean, you see, I mean, again,
no equivocation. That's good. Now the next question is. The next question is, with what we're seeing, we've got stockpiles in Germany. We've had Russian tanks moving to Ukraine. We're moving Abrams tanks around Europe, which is a good thing. But we also have an industrial base. We're working on the modernization of the Abrams platform. We have an industrial base. Can you speak to the importance of making sure that we continue investment in that modernization program so that we can get efficiencies as we churn out more of these platforms?
Yes, Senator. We're very focused on modernizing our organic industrial base. And as I said, we have a 15-year plan that General Ed Daly down at Army Materiel Command has really worked hard on because we want to make sure that we continue to get what we need out of the industrial base that we have, but also to upskill some of the workforce that we have there and some of the facilities so that they're able to, eventually be able to repair and maintain the new systems that are coming online.
Great. Well, and I've run out of time, so I'll submit a question for the record on modernization plan for military housing. We got challenges down at Fort Bragg, and it's not limited to that installation. And look forward to hearing your feedback on it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tillis. Senator Rosen, please.